Hello and welcome to Northbeat from Pelly Crossing, Yukon. There's an election campaign underway here right now for the Selkirk First Nation. But one role has already been decided. Only one person ran for chief, which means he got the job. I spoke to the incoming chief about his hopes for the future of Selkirk First Nation. We'll have that conversation later in the show. But first, the news. Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts in Pelly Crossing, Yukon. An Inuit organization's decision to hold a major meeting outside of Nunavut is facing backlash. Nunavut Tungavik Incorporated is the legal representative for Inuit under the Nunavut Agreement. Its board of directors meeting started on Tuesday in Nuuk, Greenland, and that location choice isn't sitting well with everyone. Carl Cardinal has our top story tonight.
Nearly 2 months after traveling to Nuuk to show support at the opening of Canada's consulate, NTI is back in Greenland. The day before the meeting was scheduled, NTI shared on its website it will be held in Nuuk, saying the move is meant to show solidarity with Greenlanders. But that reasoning is raising eyebrows, especially after the US president backed down from earlier comments about taking control of the island. Abraham Tagalik is among those questioning the decision. He's wondering about oversight on how NTI spends its money.
There's no financial control set in place on the board. There's no scrutiny of how funds are spent.
Tagalik also points to accessibility, saying beneficiaries have attended past NTI meetings. He says members should have more involvement in the structure of the organization and in the decision being made. He will also like to know what it will have cost to hold the meeting in Nunavut instead.
I think it would be nice to see a comparison. If they were to hold a meeting in Resolute Bay, here's what it would cost. And the supplemental differences in going to Greenland, and to have it explained to us to clarify.
During this week's meeting, the board will hear updates from the regional Inuit associations and review the proposed 2026-2027 budget. As the meeting takes place, NTI leadership is staying at the Hans Egid Hotel, a 4-star hotel in the city. Carl Cardinal, CBC News, Iqaluit.
CBC reached out to acting NTI President Paul Ingao to respond to the criticism. Here's what he had to say.
Yes, this is worrisome, but people were able to log into computers to watch it live. We must remember that other fellow Inuit were being heavily bothered, and we must support other Inuit no matter where they are from, even if it's from other countries. The meeting was also a good opportunity to plan for ways for Inuit to be able to stay connected by getting rid of the passports.
To the Northwest Territories now, where 4 new social housing units have just been completed in Delaunay. These ones are a bit different than the typical homes in the community. They're part of a hybrid housing pilot project through Housing NWT. Tamara Merritt explains.
The 1-bedroom modular homes have 2 main sections. An inner core, highlighted in green, with a kitchen, bathroom, mechanical room, and water tank, and an outer shell. The core was built in Hay River and then sent on the winter road by truck to Delaunay, where the outer shell was completed. Housing NWT came up with the initial idea for the hybrid model and then partnered with Arcan and Metcan Building Solutions to develop it.
We're shipping around a modular core, which is much more compact and kind of has the specialized components of the project in it. It's arriving on site as a more compact package, and then the remainder of the project's being constructed around that modular piece.
Housing NWT said Delaunay was the ideal community for the pilot project because of its remote access and small population, which would test the ability to locally recruit workers. One goal of the project is community engagement.
The intention behind the build was to provide opportunity for on-the-job training within the community by hiring local individuals as well as engaging local contractors to complete some of the work.
Corver says the pilot was a success and that Housing NWT is looking for its next opportunity. Tamara Merritt, CBC News, Yellowknife.
Yukon's air ambulance program has been upgraded. The boost comes in the form of 3 updated aircraft. The Yukon First Nations Air Leasing Partnership bought the planes, and George Moratis tells us what impact they will have.
It's not every day a red carpet is rolled out for a Yukon aircraft. On Tuesday, there was that, plus a shined-up plane, and even a miniature aircraft adorning a cake. It was all to mark the arrival of 3 air ambulances, new additions to Yukon's medevac fleet.
Well, it gives us more capacity, and so that means we can move patients out quicker and be more efficient in the way we operate and do business. It's not just about the number of planes, though. There's been some significant improvements to these aircraft that will improve communication, that will improve the way we load and offload patients, which will ultimately save paramedics' backs and nurses' backs. And it provides for a better space to provide better patient care.
The planes come as reliance on air ambulances grows. Since 2020, patient calls in the Yukon have jumped by 50%. In 2024, there were almost 1,500 medevac flights.
So yeah, they're utilized every day. I'm happy to see this one sitting here. I don't suspect it will be sitting there for too long.
They're newer overall, so newer to the fleet. They're the same type that we've been operating for quite a while, but just new equipment and just overall just a little bit cleaner, faster, more modern.
The aircraft are being leased to Alcan Air. They're owned by 8 Yukon First Nations development companies and were purchased for a price tag of $21 million.
If you can just imagine what it would be like to be in your most critical hour where you feel alone, you feel scared, you feel like you're in your weakest hour, and then to know that you're on an aircraft that your nation is part of, to me that brings me a sense of pride, it brings me a sense of security.
Eckert Murray's grandfather was Elijah Smith. The late Yukon chief helped set the foundation for land claims in the Yukon. Eckert Murray says these planes represent the work he and many others put in decades ago.
Every moment that I do what I do every day, I'm always thinking about my grandfather. He quite literally gave his life for this work that we do today. I don't take it for granted. Every time I enter into new partnerships, I think about Together Today for Our Children Tomorrow. I think about his legacy, and I want to honor that vision. So every time I get to do something like this, I think about how proud he would be for me to stand up here as his granddaughter, living the vision that he set out back in those many years ago. So it makes me proud. I'm so honored. I'm so thrilled. And I'm actually impressed I didn't cry this time. So, yeah.
The planes are now in operation. George Moratis, CBC News, Whitehorse.
The city of Iqaluit is increasing the amount of funding available to cover funeral expenses. Previously, about $8,400 was available. That amount will now increase to a maximum of $10,000. Iqaluit City Council voted in favor of the increase on Tuesday. The city's deputy mayor says she hopes it'll help ease the stress of losing a loved one.
When you have an unexpected loss, there's, the emotional stress that you're already dealing with, and the last thing people need to think about is the financial stress of that loss as well, because funerals are expensive, cremation's expensive, all of these things are expensive.
Funeral services eligible under the program include the cost of a coffin or urn, body preparation, and transfer of remains using a vehicle. A correction now to a story that aired back in September. On September 24th, we said that a march and vigil for children's safety in Gaza was scheduled in Yellowknife on the same day as commemorations for the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. Our story should have more clearly reflected that only one event was being planned. That was a march to mark Orange Shirt Day in solidarity with children's safety in Gaza. Welcome back. There's an election campaign underway in Selkirk First Nation in the Yukon. Citizens hit the advance polls today to cast their votes, and they'll get another chance on Election Day on April 1st. But there is one outcome that's already been decided. Jeremy Harper has been acclaimed as Chief of Selkirk First Nation. No one ran against him, so he will take on that role when the election is over. Harper is a former MLA who also served as Speaker. We spoke earlier about his vision for the future of Selkirk First Nation. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hello.
So you are in a bit of a unique position right now. You're a chief in waiting. Explain what's happening with the Selkirk election right now.
Well, being acclaimed was very surprising to me. I was gearing up with my team and my girlfriend for this coming election, and being acclaimed, I was still in election mode, so I still went out and created a brochure for the community to see what my vision was and to see if they agree with the vision. But this coming election is big because it's the first time we've had 7 Wolf councillors running and 5 Crow. Normally it's 2 to 3 Crow councillors, so it's just goes to show how much our nation is growing, having a lot of individuals put their names forward because they really want to improve our small community and our self-governing First Nation.
Yeah, tell me about that pretty big change in the number of people running. You kind of alluded to the community's growing, people are wanting to be more active in it, but what does it tell you about the state of the community right now?
It goes to show how healthy our community is and how much we have grown, right? And how much our citizens are taking the self-governing First Nation initiatives serious, right? We all want healthy improvements in the community. We all have great ideas. We live and breathe what goes on in our rural community. And we see what we don't have and we see what we have. And I think that plays a big factor when it comes to our citizens putting their name forward on what they want to address and what ideas they could bring to the table if they're elected in.
Tell me about your vision as well when you officially step into the role. What are some of the first things that you'd like to get done, some of the first ideas you'd like to put into motion?
Well, I have a lot of ideas, right? And when a new council gets elected in, I have to make sure my ideas align with them. And whatever we put forward, we'll definitely start off with regular community meetings to see if our ideas align with the community. At the end of the day, it's the people that give us the power, and it's the people that can take the power away, right? So at the end of the day, if our stars don't align with them, we need to make sure our stars align with their ideas and what they want to see improved in the community. So I think that will be a priority to make sure that we are going to follow through with what the community wants to execute on.
What have you been hearing from community members about what they'd like for the next couple of years?
Oh, it's a big list, from a recreational complex to a proper gym, which, I'm a big time advocate for exercising, training, playing hockey, playing multiple sports. And I think it's important for the mind and soul to vent all that stress, to vent all what's going on in our daily lives, right? And when you go out and have a healthy outlet like that, you're able to stable yourself and get your minds collected, your thoughts collected. But an elders facility is another one. A lot of our citizens don't want to see our elders leave, so that needs to be a priority on our list. And a restaurant is another one. People want somewhere to go to eat or have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, or just to go and sit down and socialize with friends or family.
I mean, a restaurant plays such a big part in creating a community gathering spot, so I can only imagine how important that would be to people. In addition to transitioning into this new role as chief, when you officially take that mantle, I mean, you're also making a transition from life in Whitehorse, when you were there as an MLA and as speaker, back to Pelly. So what has that been like for you?
Well, it's not really a transition. I've always continued to maintain my residency here in Pelly Crossing, and whenever I was out of the ledge as Speaker of the House, I'd come back home. And being the MLA for the Male Attachment riding, I represented 5 communities, so it was very difficult to me to be placed in my own community because I had to work with 3 self-governing First Nations, Nacho Dun, Selk First Nation, and Little Salmon Carmacks First Nation, and 2 municipalities, Village of Carmacks and Village of Mayo. So a lot of leaderships to sit down to hash out what they want to see improved in their community, and then I'd have to go back and advocate with the government I was part of, the Liberal government. So very interesting. It was a big learning curve, but I am very grateful that I got to take that step in life and learn a lot of new things about the territorial government and how its system operates.
Yeah, how will you take what you've learned in that role and with all of these communities that surround your community of Pelly and apply it to your new role?
I think it's important because we as First Nation people need to grow and learn new trades and tricks and also create new relationships. And I think most of all is creating those relationships, because those relationships, whether it be with a previous minister or with the existing minister that's in cabinet, they will be able to open doors or direct me in the right direction on how to access more funds to improve our small community. And I just wholeheartedly believe that that relationship building is a key when you get into any position of leadership, that you go and hit up those relationships and try to improve your community.
What's your hope for Pelly in the next 5 years, let's say?
Well, I'm elected in for 3 years, so it's a short term. It's not like the territorial government where they're anywhere from 2 to 5 years, right? But I come equipped. I've already been on leadership for 7 years as a Wolf counselor, so I know what to expect at this table. And I just hope a strong team is elected in and willing to hit the ground running as I am. And definitely strengthening the administration needs to be a priority, because there's a lot of vacant positions here. And getting those positions filled before we start hitting the ground running is important, because you need the capacity and you need the support to make sure that you can move forward as a healthy, self-governing First Nation.
All right. Do you have any message for the citizens of Selkirk as they enter into the next phases of the election and eventually, elect a new, chief, which will be you as a claim, through a claim, but also new councillors?
I just think it's important for all our citizens to be involved. Whether they like the self-governing system of election or if they don't like it, I think it's important for them to voice their concerns and to put their vote forward. It's important to see that our nation grow, and it's also important to have our citizens participate in the election system, also in the self-governing First Nation, whether it be in a working capacity or a help capacity. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Keeping traditional drumming and dancing alive. That is one of the goals of a program in Talojuak, Nunavut. Once a week, elders head to the community's school to share what they know with whoever wants to learn. The CBC's Leni Lambrink got to check it out last month.
David Nanook is demonstrating his drum dancing technique. Bessie Okukdok is singing. More than 20 people packed into this classroom at Netzilik School in Talojuak. They've all come to learn traditional drum dancing songs from these 2 elders. Nanook has been drum dancing for decades.
I started officially sometime around 1968, 67 or 68. Well, that is when I grabbed a drum. It was a drum my dad and his maternal uncle was fixing up to be used that evening. From then on, my father's uncle was an elder from the Netzilik area and knew of the drums well.
The Hokolajun program is a space where Nanook and Okukdok can share the community's traditional dances and songs. Joni Carew, a mental health outreach worker for the government of Nunavut, got the sessions going in February.
It brings me so much joy and happiness. like watching it in action and seeing how the elders connect with the participants that are trying to learn how to drum dance for the first time, and having the elder instructors talk about the meaning behind the song and how to properly say the words.
Carew says the Hoko Lejeune program is the only program of its kind in Talojuac. She says she felt shy to drum dance growing up, and she wanted to create a safe place where people could learn.
It is part of our identity as Inuit, and that is another reason why I wanted to run this program, because it's like we're losing part of our identity, and losing our part of our identity is not good for our mental well-being. So getting this part of our culture back, we're getting our sense of identity again. And it's not only good mentally, it's also like good physically. You're moving your body around when you're drum dancing.
Carew says people leave the Hoko Lejeune program feeling happy and motivated to learn. She's thinking of holding an event in the spring to show off to the community what participants have learned. Lainey Lambrank, CBC News, Yellowknife.
Urban Inuit who are thousands of kilometers away from home are exploring ways to reconnect with their culture. Close to a dozen Inuit in Edmonton have spent the winter at workshops called Reconnecting with the Kudlik. They're centered around Inuit Kauyamaya Tukanit principles, or IQ principles. Organizer Tracy Alikamik is Métis Inuit. She grew up in Alberta, and she says she was able to embrace Cree and Métis teachings.
But with the lack of Inuit representation, I struggled. I grew up in a Ukrainian household, and I did know who my family were, but I was only ever told, you're Inuit Métis, and I was never told anything past that. So when I realized that I felt ashamed and embarrassed by that, I thought, I'm going to change this.
A workshop program leader who was born in Inuvik says she didn't hear much about IQ principles growing up in the Western Arctic.
So when I reconnected with them and tried to see where in my life I use those principles, I was really grateful that they weren't too far down into my history.
Alikamik says the journey for these women doesn't stop there. There are harvesting trips already planned for the summer, and she hopes to expand the workshops to include dancing, drumming, and language. The Yukon Native Hockey Tournament is around the corner. Traffic is picking up here in central Yukon. People are heading south towards Whitehorse, and excitement is in the air. We spoke to the mayor of Carmacks, who's also a hockey coach and a hockey player, about what the game means to his community. And we also asked him what he would say to his competitors at the tournament.
Here today doing a practice for the Carmacks Minor Hockey Association. We've been together for 3 years, working with the First Nation, lots of funding. The kids are great. We get about 50 kids turn out between all U7 to U15. Yeah, so it's a great day to practice, getting ready for Native Hockey Tournament, and the kids are happy. They're getting their jerseys today, so yeah.
Yeah, we saw all the jersey prep outside. I mean, 50 kids is more than half the school. Tell me about the role that hockey plays in this community.
Yeah, so community, definitely team, like working together. Obviously, the friendship and getting through things just at school or on the ice or what that looks like on the playground. But yeah, just in life in general, it's really good to connect with your friends and yeah, get through things together.
And tell me about some of the work that goes into preparing for the Yukon Native Hockey Tournament.
Oh, well, we pretty much all year, because here we don't have a lot of teams to play, so we're playing each other. So with the Yukon Minor Hockey Association, we'll go to the U7 Yukon Champs or the U13 Yukon Champs. So that gets us kind of looking like what is the other communities like playing with, right? So then we get a grasp of what that is. So then we can kind of translate that onto the ice of how we're going to practice for NHT and what that looks like.
And what does that event, the Yukon Native Hockey Tournament, mean to the kids to be able to go and either participate or participate by watching and cheering?
Yeah, so I think that all generates from their parents, like growing up watching their parents play in it, and then they want to obviously play in that, and they're fans of their parents and their community members watching them play in that. So it's a really big deal for them to showcase that themselves out there, right? So yeah.
Finally, Justin, do you have a message for the other teams that are going to be going up against your teams in the hockey tournament?
A message would be to play as hard as you can, keep your stick on the ice, and hopefully we get more goals than you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. I'm Megan Roberts in Pelly Crossing, Yukon. Have a good night